See if she can hear us or not. Well, they're still.
But it's saying.
Outside. I got,
Can you hear us?
yeah,
Can't you hear us now?
Now you can.
Hello.
I heard that echo. There you go.
Yeah, just
Say we're good.
Okay. All right, it is 7:02. I'll go ahead and call the December 8th, 2025 Board of Trustees meetings to order. Would you please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Houston, would you please take the roll call? I remembered it this time.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Stubbs.
I'm here.
Dr. Croft here. Mr. Potter here. All are present.
All right, thank you. So we'll start out with visitor comments. Any visitor comments tonight?
Give a quick JED update.
Sure.
Mark Keener, Valley View JED Treasurer Extraordinaire. So we are having our next JED meeting on Wednesday of this week here in this room, 6 o'clock. If anybody would like to join us, it'll be a fun time. So a couple things. We have one of the school appointed positions is expiring, Mrs. Schmidt. And so I think it's on the agenda tonight for the school board to appoint somebody to replace her. My guess is she'll replace herself. And Mr. Stiver's position as chairman also expires this month. So we will probably nominate him again, since the two people that I've talked to today gave a resounding no to being interested in taking that position. So we will have 2 or 3 or 4 groups. I don't remember exactly how many coming, asking for money for projects. So hopefully we give away a bunch more money. Interestingly, we will also be deciding on our retainage percentage at this meeting. Currently, it's at 15%. My guess is we're gonna probably vote to keep it there. I haven't done the final math yet, but over the weekend I was doing a little bit of analysis on it, and we've actually given out so far to date right at what we've taken in. So I think that 15% was good. So yeah, we'll actually, I know there's actually another $4,000 that hadn't been accounted for in that. So fortunately, we started the year with like $38,000 in that fund. So it'll probably end up, I don't know what it'll end up at after Wednesday's meeting, but you know, we still have a pretty good amount there. So once we have an idea of that, then we'll go ahead and figure out our retainage percentage for the upcoming year. So hopefully that's not as contentious as it was last year.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's it. So.
All right, thank you for the update.
You bet.
15%, 20%, whatever.
20, 25, man, I say, you know, let's do a 40%. Let's start doing some real projects.
It's use the money for the purpose, the actual spirit of the JED, which was on the property itself. So
Yes.
perfect. Thank you very much. Any other visitor comments tonight? All right, with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the fiscal officer's report. Let me turn my camera on.
Okay, good evening again, everyone. We will start out with the minutes from the November 10th meeting. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, oh,
On the, yeah, I did, and I think I left that. Hold on. I meant to email you today and I forgot. It was just a wording error. I'm sorry. I did, if I marked it or not. Oh. Yeah, it's, I circled it, 10 to 15 below average, but it doesn't say what we're talking about. Money, percent.
local average. That was Chief Birch's comment that our police salaries are 10 to 15% page 5, 10 to 15% below local average.
Below, okay, I just wanted clarity, that's all. That's all.
I'll add the word local.
Perfect.
Make a motion to approve the 11/10/2025 regular meeting notes as amended.
Second. Mark,
That's amended session.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Next, we have the financial reports for November. As normal, you received the fund status report at the end of November, the year-to-date cash summary by fund through November, the month of November cash summary by fund, the November receipts and the November payments. And there's just two items that I want to point out. First of all, receipt number 375 for $5,150 even from govdeals.com is for the sale of former Chief Anzac's vehicle. And the second item, warrant number, this is good news, warrant number 50916 for $10,307.25 to the First National Bank of Germantown is the final payment of the Valley View Water and Sewer District loan. That loan is now paid in full.
Awesome.
Are there any questions about the financials? If not, could I have a motion to approve them as well as authorize the payment of our November bills?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the November financial reports and authorize the payments of November bills warrants 50911 through 50916 and vouchers 910 through 987 for payroll, direct deposit, tax withholdings, and other electronic payments.
Can I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. All right. Last month, we talked a lot about our meeting a month or so prior to that with the Artarma cyber IT risk consultant, Aaron Willis, not Aaron Willis from our township. He had sent in his recommendations from the meeting he held here during the day of his site visit. And he also sent some sample policies that he provided to assist us in implementing his recommendations. So there was a request that we respond to his recommendations within 60 days of his report, which was dated November 4th. So we're sort of getting near the end of that time. And we have to complete a statement of action taken. And just for your recollection, as well as those watching it in the room, his recommendations were as follows. 1, implement passwordless authentication to enhance security and user convenience by reducing reliance on traditional passwords. 2, upgrade or migrate the Windows 10 desktop operating system to a modern operating system that is actively supported by Microsoft. Support for the Windows 10 desktop ended on October 14th of this year. 3, provide annual cybersecurity awareness training with frequent engaging refreshers throughout the year. 4, implement a comprehensive disaster recovery plan, including business interruption and redundant systems to quickly restore operations and minimize future risk of an unexpected outage of a computer network, application, or system lasting greater than 6 hours and involving property damage. And finally, develop and implement a social media policy that includes signatures from all end users who have access to business-related social media, and also guidance to all end users in regard to posting about business on their own personal social media sites. And with that introduction, where would you like to go at this point on that statement of action taken?
So I think we need to pass a resolution that, or motion a resolution, whatever you think is more appropriate to go with his recommendations. Most of them are going to be a big deal to do. All of them. The computer needed updated anyway, so.
So you think we can do all this in-house?
I think we can do. I think so.
Didn't he give a kind of a generic policy that the board can adopt?
Oh, we did a policy on cybersecurity last meeting.
And that covered his first requirement, didn't it?
That would be in, I don't think the passwordless authentication was actually in that policy. I sent that out today to the entire employee list. So, it's now an official policy of the township for all employees. It's just, we need to fill out this response statement. Do you want to take a stab at that, Mr. Stubbs?
That's fine.
And then you and I can discuss it before we send it on?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
As far as the police department goes, we have a plan in place for the computers and the laptops that we have to replace. And then we also, the last bullet point, through Lexipol, we have a social media policy. If you guys would like to take a look at that and possibly implement the same.
Probably
Yeah,
be very similar.
yeah.
And I think your department is the only one that has access to any of the social media sites. Is that correct?
Probably.
I don't have access to them.
Jeanette is the only one with access when we had our meeting, and he said we needed to have a backup person that would be able to access to, not that they have to ever get on there, but just have someone who has at least the passwords to change something in case something would happen.
We've been through that before, so that definitely needs to be taken care of, so.
I don't know if Tom is doing what we did, but we've actually put a list of all our passwords, all the road department's passwords, and it's in the safe. I didn't know if you were aware of that.
That's not,
It's in your safe and it tells you what website, what the username is and what the password is.
And Shauna's doing the same thing. It's locked up.
Right.
But it would probably be a good idea to do the same thing. So,
It just gives an elected official access to it.
yeah.
The only reason we did it that way.
But Janet, you're next person up for the, for that, so we'll have to get you access to the social media sites.
Okay. Not that I'll ever use it.
Yeah,
I just wanted.
well, just in case, yeah, just in case.
So you're basically saying we can do all this in-house without hiring a consultant to actually write those policies, but
I think with Lexipol, I think we can get some information from them, because that's,
We've got a very strong social media policy through Lexipol. So
but they also have policies,
a lot.
a lot of things, so I think we'll be able to use,
we should look.
things.
we may want to take some of those police specific policies and then apply them to the entire township
Yeah.
organization.
Has there been any decision? I know we have, as far as getting separate laptops for the trustees to exclusively use those for trustee business.
That was a side comment he made when he was on site. He did not put that in his official report, but he did suggest if the trustees do anything other than township emails through their township email account, that they should have a township owned computer and not use their personal computers. I'm not sure that any of you do anything beyond emails, do you? In terms, you're not,
Just my document I send you once a month.
yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're doing something, it's probably for your own personal use, not
Yeah,
official township business.
no, I think that would get expensive and not necessarily, I would very, very rarely use it. So,
Okay.
As being a president, whoever's president, would it be worth having one for the president?
or maybe a desktop in the trustees room if anybody wanted to come here and use it. But I don't think a laptop benefit, I would never, I don't think I would ever, I would very rarely use it.
If you wanted to buy one laptop or desktop and put it in there, laptops are cheaper,
Cheaper, more
easier.
yeah.
And if they need to be portable, then they
Yeah.
can. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's something that we can look into at the first of the year.
Good luck.
No, thanks.
Okay, well, if you'll take a stab at that, Mr. Stubbs, yeah, we can talk. And then if you feel we need to, we can bring it up at the year-end meeting or even the organizational meeting. And if we don't meet the 60-day deadline,
Yeah,
it's not critical. We're
Okay.
not, nothing's going to happen.
right.
Okay, good job. Okay, we have a plan. All right, moving on. I think all of you did receive an email from Farmersville Mayor Nick Lamb, so you're aware that the Farmersville Council has requested our support, us along with Jackson Township and Germantown, to support their Farmersville Council's resolution related to their proposed acquisition of the former Valley View Junior High property at 202 Jackson Street in Farmersville. Nick did provide a sample resolution, which I've sent to you. And if you decide you want to support Farmersville in this endeavor, I've given you some language for a resolution. We'll make that, if you decide to do it, number 53.
Background on that, is the school decided not to donate it to Farmersville? Or-
I think the answer is they want it to be donated.
Right.
But what, we have an upcoming school board member here. Do you have any idea on the donation? Is Valley View still planning on giving that to Farmersville? Do you know? Have you heard anything?
I can't, sir.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know that it, I don't mind to have a resolution, but I'm not sure it's our business to be involved in. Is it?
That's for you to
I
decide.
mean,
Well,
that's
just giving our support to
Right,
their-
support, yeah.
I mean, I don't think it carries any legal, weight.
Right.
But it does to support them.
I think their goal was to take 4 resolutions to the board, to the school board, and say, the local governments all support us in our desire to have that property.
Do we know if the other jurisdictions have done so?
I have no idea. I've not talked to Mr. Lamb. Okay.
I don't have a problem doing it. I just,
I don't have a problem doing it.
so I'll introduce resolution 2025-53, a resolution expressing support for the Village of Farmersville's proposed acquisition of property owned by the Valley View Local School District at 202 Jackson Street, Farmersville, Ohio. Whereas the Valley View Local School District owns land at 202 Jackson Street, Farmersville, Ohio, and whereas the Village of Farmersville has proposed to acquire said property for redevelopment that meets the community needs and complements the long-term planning goals of the region, including possible residential or mixed-use purposes designed to serve aging residents and long-term community members. And whereas German Township recognizes that responsible, well-planned development contributes to the overall health, sustainability, economic balance of the region. And whereas the township believes that the 4 municipalities that make up the Valley View Local School District, Farmersville, Jackson Township, German Township, and the city of Germantown should work cooperatively to present a unified position in support of this initiative.
Okay. I'll
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion of the resolution? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Mr. Stokes?
Yes,
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-53 is adopted. I will formalize that and then send it to Mr. Lane. Last month, I reported to you that I had prepared spreadsheets for the police department and the road department, through the end of October to assist them in preparing their 2026 budgets. Since that time, I've now updated those spreadsheets using the November month-end numbers, and we'll be reviewing all of those budgets at our December 29th year-end special meeting.
Is
Okay.
I'm supposed to attend to the year-end special meeting on December 29th?
well, somebody will have to come to report it,
Okay,
so.
I was just checking.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Okay, yeah,
Yep. Now check that one as well as January 2nd,
okay,
both at 7 o'clock.
yeah.
If you can, we'll either Ms. Close or Mr. Hamilton.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Last month, we discussed the medical mutual is no longer offering our current medical plan in 2026.
Did we miss number 7
Yeah.
on your list?
I wasn't going to mention it, but I'd be happy to. Would you like me to? Okay, let's back up.
Well, let's do.
At last month's meeting, you informally approved a 3% cost of living adjustment for all employees for 2026. And recent newspaper articles in the Dayton Daily News and the Butler County Journal News have reported that Oakwood is planning a 3.75% increase, and Middletown is planning a 4.5% increase. I'm not necessarily recommending that you change our COLA, but I wanted you to have this information in case you felt any need to make adjustments. Leave that hanging. All right, moving on. Medical Mutual, no longer offering our current medical plan next year. AccuSure, formerly known as Pyramid Flower, has been working to find an alternative plan for us that will provide benefits similar to our current plan. And back on November 19th, a bunch of us, Chief Birch, Sergeant Jones, Mr. Holberg, Scott Hamilton, Shauna, Bose, and I, we all had a virtual meeting with Dodie Smith, our AccuSure representative. We first discussed our current plan, which has two components, as you probably remember. The first is a $2,000 single, $4,000 family debit card feature, which is administered through AccuSure, and our employees simply hand that to their provider, to the drug store, or wherever they are getting medical help. Then after that is used up, then there is a $3,000 single, $6,000 family deductible, which comes directly from Medical Mutual. So the total deductibles of our current plan are $5,000 for a single person and $10,000 for a family. And our 2025 premiums for this current plan that we have been running at $16,390. So we requested that Ms. Smith, Dodie Smith from AccuSure, search for a comparable 2026 plan through Medical Mutual. We also asked her to search for similar plans through United Healthcare, Anthem, and Aetna. Last month, I did mention a possible plan through Medical Mutual. That one's no longer considered. It did not make any sense when we dug into it deeper. In terms of the other healthcare companies, the cheapest one, the cheapest non-medical mutual plan was through Anthem, and the monthly premium was $31,104. Now, the cheapest medical mutual plan is $13,930, actually less than what we're currently paying. Now, this plan would eliminate our two-tier deductible system that we currently have and replace it with a combined $5,000 single, $10,000 family deductible. It will also continue to have the debit card feature, although now it will be for the full deductible, not just for the first $2,000 or $4,000. We are recommending that this plan be approved to with 2026. And the specific plan that Medical Mutual offers is called the COSI PPO HSA 5000 MMRX plan. Now, the new plan will have a penalty for using providers who are out of network. The deductibles for out of network, $10,000 single and $20,000 family with a 50% co-insurance. Now, last month when we discussed healthcare, it was mentioned by, I think, Dr. Cross, that one way to reduce cost might be to have our employees share in the healthcare cost. So what I'm recommending to you tonight is that you mandate to our employees that any costs associated with any out-of-network care be paid 100% by the employee. In network care, however, we would continue to have 100% Township paid. And I spoke today with Dodie Smith at AccuSure, about how that process would work of having our employees pay for out of network. It's going to be a little bit convoluted, but at the end of the day, it will work. When they use a provider or a pharmacy for a drug that's not in network, they would still present their debit card because the debit card doesn't know whether it's in network or out of network. Then when it goes to Medical Mutual to be evaluated and an explanation of benefit document is prepared, it will then show that they used an out of network. At that point in time, the township, as well as the employee, will be notified that they used an out of network provider, and they will be expected to reimburse the township for that cost. That is the only way that they can really play that. We pay in network, the employee pays out of network. So I'm recommending that you do that because with that high deductible for out of network, it could really cost the township.
Is there anything that tells them they're out of network before they purchase it? So
Nothing on the card.
I know, I guess.
They can
They
certainly,
could get,
they can go on the Medical Mutual website and check if that provider is in network.
Okay.
Just as I would with my insurance or you would with yours. But the card doesn't know.
Is there any kind of comparison between providers on what they have now and providers and what that new insurance is going to be?
It should be all the normal Medical Mutual providers. Whether there's any changes from year to year, one of the employees would know better than
I
me.
don't think so, not that I've run into.
When we met with Dodie, I believe she said that it was the same running forward from the plan that we had to the.
That's how I understood
If
it.
we would have gone to any other company, other Medical Mutual, we would have had an issue, I'm sure, with what's in network. This is not.
What about emergency issues? I mean, I'm not even, I was just thinking if I was, if you had an emergency issue, let's say you're not even in town, let's say you're somewhere else and you end up going to someone, you know, or they come to see you in the hospital or whatever in the emergency room, and then you find out that they're not in the network.
I would imagine this is like every other health plan that I'm aware of out there. And that is emergency care is always considered in network if you can get to an in-network hospital. If you're traveling, you don't have an in-network nearby, it's still covered as in-network.
Okay.
There's one other piece of this puzzle, and that is, this is a group rate. And there is an entity called COSI, which is the Council on Smaller Enterprises. It's actually a division of the Greater Cleveland Partnership. We're required to join COSI in order to get this insurance rate. And the annual cost for the COSI buying group is approximately $450, so it's not a big number. So with all that said, I recommend it, and I believe the rest of those, all of you who sat in on that conference call with Dodie Smith, recommend that you approve this new plan for 2026. And if so, we'll use resolution 54.
I'll introduce resolution 2025 dash.
I'd like to piggyback on something Janet said. So, you know, with the emergency, there could be an issue, but even routine stuff. I mean, I fully agree that if you're going to your doctor for a checkup or whatever, you need to make sure they're in network or you pay. But sometimes you don't even know because you're going to your doctor and you're having some procedure done. They send it out to a lab that may be out of network. Or if you go in for a colonoscopy, you know, your doctor and the facility may be in network, but the anesthesiologist is not in network. And you have no idea before you're doing that. You have no way of knowing. And so I think it's going to be really just fair to the employees if they have no way of knowing, controlling, if you're in the hospital and you've got some doctor that's not in network that's making rounds and stops by, how do you do that? So
I'll tell you how I do it when I get that kind of surprise. I appeal
Yeah,
to my healthcare provider saying, I didn't have a choice in this. They selected to process this lab or this particular surgeon. I've not yet been turned down, but that doesn't mean it couldn't happen.
but what if they are? So,
Yeah, I don't know. And, you know, they may decide not to do that. The trustees may not want to charge the employees, but that's my recommendation for out of network.
I think the idea was to keep the employees just so that they know ahead of time if they go to a routine doctor visit, that they're using in-network physicians. You know, we're talking about emergency situations, or like what Mr. Keener said, you know, if you don't know if some of the people involved in the operation or whatever you're having are not in network, I think we should play that up by ear. You know, if we have to come to the board and say, look, you know, we didn't know, we appealed, and the insurance company say they didn't allow us to appeal. And they said, no, you're going to have to pay this amount. Then maybe we can appeal the board and say, look, you know, we knew what the idea behind making sure our physicians were in network, and this is what I did. You know, I made sure that the main physician was in network. I made sure that the facility was in network, but there was 3 nurses and an anesthesiologist and somebody else who were out of network. And now I'm being billed $1,000 or whatever the amount might be. Then maybe have an appeal process where that the employees could appeal the board and say, look, can you help me out? I don't know.
Those will be unusual cases, but I think.
Right, I
it's
think
reasonable.
Yeah,
And then the board can decide.
right.
I think we're mainly concerned about the routine.
Right, and I think that's the whole idea behind doing it the way that you described, was to make sure people aren't just going out of network just because they like Joe Schmo, doctor, you know, three counties away or whatever, so.
I think that's fair to have an appeals process. Or not an appeal, it's just provide the situation to, it's not, I wouldn't even call it an appeal.
On a case by case basis.
And I don't think you need to formalize anything at this point concerning that issue. When it comes up, you deal with it at that time.
Steve's correct.
I think for now, you just have to decide whether you want to implement that policy or allow everything to be paid 100% by the township. And not only is there the higher deductible, there's also the 50% co-insurance, anything out of network.
Right,
So it can add up quickly.
right. And were the employees, were you guys happy with what we're,
I think, as far as I'm concerned, they're just happy to have insurance,
yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
so I mean,
okay,
I think overall, the new plan is cheaper
right?
Yes.
overall. And everyone's happy that we're maintaining our insurance and at the current level.
This will be somewhat invisible to the employees because we're sticking with Medical Mutual. They still have their debit card. Everything that they've done in the past will work the same as it has. If we would have done anything else with anyone else, it would have been quite traumatic, I would think, for our employees.
Plus, it's the cheapest option
And that's
by a
a
lot.
lot.
Surprisingly.
Mr. Houston, did I hear you say that this new plan has an HSA component to it as well?
Yes.
And how is that going to work with your debit card, number one? Number two, I don't think, there's never been, since I've been involved in the township and HSA. So is somebody going to educate the employees on how that could work, the tax advantages, things of that nature?
Well, there'll be no reason for them to put, first of all, I don't think this plan has the ability to put money in pre-tax that you would use for medical expense. But there's also no reason that they would do that since the township pays 100%. That is not a feature. I did talk to them about that. The HSA part means there's an in-network versus out-of-network component.
I would investigate if they can do pre-tax contributions, that it, while it may not have an immediate benefit other than reducing their taxable income, they can use their HSA after retirement to basically pay any other medical expenses, or if they're on, if they've got dental expenses that aren't covered under the insurance, if they've got, drugs that there's a copay on. I mean, there's any number of things that the HSA can be used on now and also in the future. It's not like the medical savings account where that has to be used within the current year. So.
They told us that that is not a feature, but we can ask the question again. Because we saw the same thing and thought, oh, okay. Apparently, our current plan is also considered an HSA plan.
I wonder if that's for the money that's being contributed back, basically, from the debit card. Considering that the HSA.
That might be the card.
There were multiple HSA plans that were much more expensive that may have had that element. But this one, from my understanding. Was that your understanding of the
Yes. So what would you like to do, gentlemen?
I'll go ahead and introduce resolution 2025-54, a resolution to approve the 2026 healthcare or health insurance plan through Acrisure, specifically the Medical Mutual COSI PPO HSA 5000 MMRX plan. The Board of Trustees directs that all healthcare costs related to the services by an out-of-network provider shall be the sole responsibility of the employee. You want me to add in that will, employee plan premiums and the cost of in-network healthcare shall be paid 100% by the township. Since membership in COSI is a condition of the insurance coverage, the Board of Trustees directs the fiscal officer to apply for membership in the buying group.
For a second,
Second.
any discussion of the resolution? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 2025-54 is adopted. Moving on. Every year that you trustees appoint members of the Reserve Police Officer Memorial Fund Board for the following year. I've given you resolution language to use. I've also given you who the 2025 board members are that you appointed last year. And they include Mr. Keener, Mark Keener, the citizen representative, who's also the chair, Mr. Potter, the elected official representative, myself as the elected official representative and secretary, and Muyad Shoke as our reserve officer representative. Unless Chief Birch wants any changes to that, I would recommend that.
Are you good with it again?
It's been a tough year, but I'll do it again.
Same here.
So I would like to introduce resolution 2025-55, a resolution appointing the 2026 Reserve Police Officer Memorial Fund Board as follows: Mark Keener, Lou Potter, Mark Easton, and Muyad Shoke.
Say. Any discussion? I'll call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-55 is adopted. All right. You may recall that Ohio Auditor Keith Faber recently released his Auditor of State Bulletin number 13, 2025-13. This bulletin directed that each public office should adopt a written policy on the use of the entity's tax exempt certificate, and also when an official or an employee is allowed to pay sales tax, the public office will reimburse. The Ohio Township Association created a sample policy, which I adapted for our township and sent that policy to you, and I request that you approve that using a resolution.
I would like to introduce resolution 2025-56, a resolution adopting a tax exempt certificate use and sales tax policy for German Township.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-56 is adopted.
So have you been paying sales tax on all our purchases or on some of them or?
You know, I haven't watched carefully in my years. Since I saw his bulletin, I've been watching a little more carefully. I know that Mrs. Burton reached out because she was concerned. She's buying, windows and, she's making sure that it's going to be tax exempt when she buys it. So there's a heightened awareness now, not only in my office, but I think in the township.
Good.
Okay, catch up here with all my stack of stuff. For many months, I've been reminding you that our web content and our mobile applications need to be compliant with new Department of Justice disability accessibility requirements by April of 2027. And there is out there a fact sheet concerning those rules that's available on the Civil Rights Division website. Last month, Dr. Cross mentioned that the OTA Service Corporation is establishing a program with Shoemaker Technology Group to host, design, and maintain township websites. And if you've not looked at your current issue of the Ohio Township News Magazine, look on page 7 and also page 34 for 2 articles about what the Shoemaker Group can do. I have reviewed the program, which starts in 2026, and my recommendation is that we reach out to Shoemaker Technology Group to accept what is an offer of a free analysis of our website to help ensure that we are following best practices and is legally and regulatory compliant, assuming they will find that it isn't, which I expect would be the case. We could then discuss with them what it would cost to have them help us implement a new website, or at least changes to it. And the OTA magazine mentions, I think, $750 for a 5-page website. I'm sure that's the minimum, and it would be more than that, but at least there's probably a discounted rate from what we would get elsewhere. What are your thoughts?
I agree.
Accept their offer.
Yeah, get them out here. Get them. Start the process.
I will contact them and get them out here. Okay, I think it's a great thing. You know, at Ohio Township Association, the OTA is doing a lot of really innovative things, this being one of them. I'm impressed how they're taking this organization and just expanding how much more service they can provide. We pay very little to them for that benefit. $50 for each of us as elected officials, $25 for everyone else. So great use of our money. Okay, 2 quick things. Excuse me, just one quick thing. As a reminder, we will have our year-end special meeting, December 29th, which is a Tuesday, I believe, at 7 o'clock. At that meeting, we'll review our 2026 budgets and approve other year-end items. And our 2026 organizational meeting will be held on Friday, January 2nd at 7 o'clock. And with that, I am done. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Chief Birch with the police report.
Okay, last month, officers drove a total of 7,696 miles. They were dispatched 117 calls. And they closed 111 cases. There were 12 case follow-ups, and we were able to get away with 0 arrests last month. There were 592 business checks, 153 vacant or vacation house checks, and 1,583 occupied house. There were 7 crashes, 71 traffic stops, and 33 citations. Equipment issues, U-car, fuel tank gasket on the top of the fuel tank had to be repaired by Dwight Creekmore down in Sunbury for $900, right around $900. The fuel tank had to be dropped and pump removed to replace the gasket. We were getting a lot of fuel smell in the garage when it sat. So he found the filter or the gasket was damaged. Monthly info, our annual breakfast with Santa was this past Saturday, 12/6. It went very well. I think everybody was pleased and their bellies were full when they left. It was nice to see everyone that came out and joined us this year. Congratulations to your grandson, Mr. Easton, who won the jar of 1,566 M&Ms with the closest guess of 1,585.
That's way too much sugar for one 4-year-old.
It definitely is. Good luck with that. You gonna take that to your house?
They're not gonna, he's not gonna see most of it until he's about 18.
Yeah. The drawing for the Cincinnati Reds tickets was done today. The winning ticket number was 456378. Ms. Close is gonna deal with that as far as getting those tickets to the appropriate person. We've already made a date for next year. It's gonna be the first Saturday in December, 12/5, from 9 a.m. to 11. I hope everybody's able to come out and join us. Have a good time with that. And I would also like to thank Mr. Cross for his dedication to the township and working with us over the years. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Dr. Cross.
Thank you. Pleasure doing it.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Holbrook with the road report.
I've got a pretty short report today. Just to let the board know, the road department's been busy, plowing and salting the roads as we do this time of the year. To date, this winter season, we replaced approximately 18 tons of salt and approximately 300 gallons of the deep brine juice liquid. And the second item, Scott and I went to Galion, Ohio, a couple weeks ago to do a mid-term build meeting with Bud Hill Road Machinery, who is doing the upfitting on our 2025 International dump truck that we bought a year ago. So it is in the shop. It was significantly underway. Had both the front and back hitch on it. Had the lift cylinder mounted for the bed. The wet system for the deep brine juice was mounted. Internal controls were being mounted. Basically, they were at the point of starting to put the bed on it and do the electrical and hydraulic systems for that, for the snow removal equipment. And with that, I was speaking to the president of the company about possibly getting the plow that's on my truck, which is approximately 20 years old, gone through. It's getting very, very loose in 20 years of beating itself down the roadway. As you can imagine, all the bushings in the front are wore out and just, it would basically have to be completely disassembled. A lot of the ears cut off and where the trip edge mounts and all new metal welded in. And he suggested that if it's in that condition, you know, does the moldboard have any holes in it? Yeah, it does. He says with the discount you get, which is 30% off through the state bid, he says you'd probably be better off just purchasing a new plow if it's that old. So we had them provide a quote to replace that plow. And the amount was $11,634.61. And our thought process is we have a dump truck up there right now. That plow could come home on that truck if we decide to replace the one that we currently have. Otherwise, we'd either have to have them bring it to us at cost, or we would have to drive one of the dump trucks all the way up to Galion, which is 2.5 hours away, to pick up the new plow. So I had Mark prepare a purchase order. If the board agrees that that would be a good decision to replace that plow. Jackson Township has shown interest in the plow. If they decide they want it, it'd be my recommendation just to donate it to them, because basically you're talking scrap price. It's about, it's not something you could sell on gov deals because the pitch is specialty. It's wore out, but it is better than I guess some of the stuff that Jackson has. So they have shown some interest in it. But like I said, it'd be my recommendation if they want it, I would just donate it to Jackson Township. So but I'll leave that up to the board.
I think it makes sense with you having a truck that's gonna be coming back this way. So hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, we might see it before the end of the year. Scott seems to be pretty optimistic. I'd say if we don't see it by the end of the year, we'll probably see it by at least mid-January, because they were pretty close.
Okay.
So,
And the fact that you got 20 years out of the old
yeah,
blade is a lot for all the plowing you guys do.
exactly. So,
Yeah, I agree. It's a good deal to do the new one.
Should get a discount for them taking forever. I don't have a problem purchasing the snow blade, the blade. It's gonna last another 20 years, so. Resolution,
If you want to do a resolution, I have no trouble with it. They're going to approve the appropriation anyway at the year-end meeting.
okay,
So it's whatever you want to do.
I'll do a resolution just so it's
So
on.
make it 57.
I'll introduce resolution 2025-57, resolution to purchase a replacement snowplow for truck 116. It is approximately 20 years old and worn out, for the cost of $11,634.61 from Glen Hill Road Machinery.
I'm going to give it to Mark. You won't get too many more opportunities.
Yes, Dan. We have them all.
Any discussion of the resolution? Call the roll. Mr. Stubbs.
Yes.
Dr. Cross.
Yes.
Mr. Potter.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 2025-57 is adopted. Mr. Olbert, I had them sign the PO if you want a signed copy.
I don't think it needs to be signed, but
I gave you two versions already. You can use whatever you think you need.
okay, thank you. Thank you to the board too. I appreciate it. Kind of spoke about number 3. Dump truck seems like it's moving right along. They have a guy on it that's, Scott and I both thought he was, very particular. Looked like he was doing a good job and asking all the right questions about, where we want stuff mounted and all that kind of stuff. So, I hope we end up with a really good product when it's all said and done. So. The only other thing I had to report on is I sent you all a draft copy of my 26 road budget. I'm sure some things will change, very minor things will change between now and our meeting on the 29th. Got that right? But if you see anything on there that you feel needs to be addressed, don't hesitate to give it a once over and we can talk about it on the 29th.
I've got a couple things I'll reach out to you about.
Okay, perfect. The only other thing I had is I think all of the board members signed the ODOT 2025 mileage certificate certification. I appreciate you handing that out, Mark. And if you want to give that to me, I can get it sent back if you want.
Okay, I'll hand it to you now.
Okay, perfect. By the way, there were no changes on our road mileage this year. We didn't have any additions or vacations, so it's the same as it's been.
What's going on with, park? Anything?
Not yet. We gotta get back with them.
And that's all I have.
On that certification, you'll notice that the county engineer did not sign it.
No, I didn't notice that.
So I reached out today to the engineer's office. They sent us a new one.
Oh, really?
So with his signature,
Okay. That might be important.
a little, yes.
I'll just add that replacing the snow plow and the truck, Jeremy does an excellent job keeping his equipment clean, well maintained. And that's why we're able to get so many years out of our stuff, is because you guys do an excellent job of keeping it taken care of and
Wash them off every
Yeah.
single time we're done snow plowing.
absolutely.
Kind of cold, but
And it makes a difference and
Yeah.
we appreciate it and I'm sure the residents do as well, as we can get several extra years out of those trucks because of the extra work we put in. So if you look at his stuff, it looks brand new, but look, it's quite old.
Yeah.
Some of it's quite old, so.
I've seen them out there in sub-freezing weather with the power washer getting
Yep.
stuff off, and it does not look very pleasant.
Yeah.
So,
Just,
Part of the job.
yeah,
Yep.
just want to make sure everyone's aware that Jeremy goes above and beyond to keep our equipment in the best possible condition.
Thank you.
Yep. With that, I will go to Janet for the zoning report.
I only have a couple of things. There was for the reports or whatever for 7663 Jamaica Road for an RV shelter on a concrete pad. And on 9680 Germantown Middletown Pike, an in-ground gun night swimming. So those are the only two
Okay.
that were approved for permits.
All right, perfect.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, we'll move into trustee reports. I'll start with Mr. Potter.
All right, with the park, the Christmas in the park is this Saturday, the 13th, from 6 to 7:30 at Veterans Park Depot. The horse parade was scheduled for 5:30. It has been canceled due to a very contagious horse virus called EHV-1. It started in Texas and has rapidly came across the country, shutting down horse events such as rodeos and horse parades all across the country. The plan now is to put Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus on a sled, on a trailer, and follow the same parade route. And that starts at 5:30. Channel maintenance completed the work, Little Twin erosion, placing the trees and the anchor blocks along the eroded bank along Little Twin, and moving the creek away from the road 50+ feet. Cut down the trees along the road to help prevent uprooting along the road. Those trees was undermined a lot more than we previously thought. We are very lucky that they had not uprooted already. I talked with Jeremy about trying to dump some dirt over the bank over the next summer, try to widen the berm out, if we can come up with some. Ron also worked one day at Furcher Park and extended the tree protection on the south end of that project that he did a couple years ago, and he did that at no charge. The pool, the slide is still not been erected. The city found out they needed permits from the state. So they are jumping through hoops, trying to get those permits from the state. We had a budget oversight meeting for the pool in October, but I had never heard from the city concerning the park budget, so I called Judy today. She said that we would have it scheduled before the end of the year. And at the end of the meeting, I would like to have an executive session concerning an employee compensation.
Okay. Is that all? All right, thank you. For the last time, Dr. Cross and you.
Just to go back to, I think Janet had brought up about, holiday thingy. We're going to discuss that a little more.
Is that
That was the executive.
Oh, right, yeah. There's a couple things I actually have are part zoning related, but I'll just include those in my meeting, in my report. So I attended the December 1st, 2025 Germantown Council meeting. Besides regular business, council held a work session and introduced Mike Lucking as Germantown's economic development consultant. He is planning on meeting with the planning commission, council members, and business owners to continue to develop the downtown and Route 4 corridor. He is scheduled to work 20 hours per month. So on 11/25/2025, I checked the Supreme Court of Ohio cases, which is supremecourt.ohio.gov. The SRM case jurisdictional appeal was filed on November 7th, 2025. The case number is 2025-1515. You can review the documents submitted by going to cases and opinions, and then to case docket, and then plug in the case number, which is 2025-1515. So if you want to know what's going on. So basically, I checked today and the case is open. So it was too late to call anew, but I'm assuming that means that the Supreme Court has taken the case. Not a lawyer, but so So basically it's to the final level, and we'll see what happens.
What was that case number again?
Case number was 2025-1515. So, yeah, so you can actually go to that website and get all the information and see how it's progressing. So I was surprised the case, when it said the case is open, meaning it's still, it's, they're seeing the case, so. I attended the Fire EMS Oversight Committee meeting on 12/3/2025. The truce report included there are 3 new candidates in the hiring process, 2 firefighter EMTs and 1 firefighter paramedic. He also has 6 staff working to continue their education. The fire department has upgraded their communications with new technology that pairs the portable radios with Bluetooth technology for the self-contained breathing apparatus. Allows for much clearer communication so they're not talking like you're in a bubble, so, So the 2026 budget was approved by the committee. The biggest change was a decrease in the administrative charge to $15,000 for both fire and EMS, so a total decrease from $60,000 to $30,000. So I thought.
That's a big deal. That does make me happy, yes.
So Judy said there are 3 people that would be happy, so you're one of them. I don't know what, that was the trustees. So anyway.
Very good.
Yeah.
It was promised to us if the levy passed that they would reduce it.
So they did. That's a pretty good chunk of change there. The legislative alert from the OTA stated that that HB 303 is in committee. It establishes a community solar energy facility program in Ohio defined as the community solar is a model where multiple customers subscribe to or buy a share of a larger off-site solar farm, receiving credits on their electricity bills with the clean energy produced, making solar accessible to renters, businesses, and those with unsuitable roofs, and often providing cost savings and local economic benefits. Participants get a share of the project's output, often through a subscription, without installing panels on their own property, benefiting the community with clean energy and supporting jobs. So the bill that's under consideration would allow a township to limit or prohibit the community solar energy facilities program in the township. And this is something that the planning commission may wish to address in the future. This again is something that I don't think is going to have a whole lot of participation in the township. It's something to keep an eye on, to want to regulate that too.
So the zoning commission might want to look at that.
Yeah, and I'll give that information. And so,
Okay.
yeah, I'll do that. So I want to thank the township for allowing me to work on the board of trustees for 8 years. I also want to thank the staff and the elected officials for their work to better German Township. Thank you all, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Eddie. Hate to see you go.
All right.
Not that I don't like you.
I hate to see him go too, but.
Yes,
Yeah,
big shoes to fill their role.
Definitely appreciate everything you've done for us.
Absolutely.
I've got something here in a minute that you're not going to like, but I'll go ahead and start with my report. I've cemetery update just quickly. Wreaths Across America is this Saturday at noon. We are having approximately 300 wreaths coming in this week to be placed on the graves of fallen or of soldiers, and that is noon on this Saturday, and it's going to be frigid. So if you would like to join us, you're more than welcome to. A quick update on the website. It is up and running. I think I said that last month. So if you go to germantowncemeteryoh.gov, that's germantowncemeteryoh.gov, and play around on there. There's some new features, and we're gonna slowly release. It's all open and you can get on there and do whatever, but we're slowly going to let people know some of the features on there so we don't get bombarded all at once with some of the stuff that you're going to be able to do on there. As they are currently working in the system, I got my first deed today online. They sent it to me online and I was able to do a digital signature. So everything's going to be streamlined in that direction for that as well, and office work. So everything's coming together on that. It's great. I think it's going to be a big improvement for us. So Keith brought up the website tonight. You can zoom in and see available grave sites, and then there's also a feature where you can search for anybody that's buried there. So, and you can come up with you put a name in there, it'll bring up all of them, and then the surrounding in that area. So you can, for genealogy and things as such. So it's gonna be really neat once people figure it out and once we were able to roll it out a bit more, hopefully first of the year here. But again, it's all up and running if you want to check it out. A wall update with the weather and how things have gone. We're going to wait till early spring, February, March, sometime in there to hopefully be able to get this project underway and then get some grass seeded right away and taking off and hopefully looking good by Memorial Day for us down there. Quick flagpole update. The flagpole, of course, was knocked down and the final concrete's been poured and the new pole is complete. So this winter / spring, when we get a chance, we're gonna get electric ran over to it. We put the conduit in, just gonna have an electrician come and get it finalized over the winter / spring. I'd like to thank Keith, Joe, Bruce, Bob, and Pat for another great year. If you've driven past the cemetery, it looks great. Keith has done a great job of making some improvements and changes. Nothing against what Mark did before, but Keith brings a new perspective. He's got the cemetery looking great. He's maximizing efficiency on everything. And then some of the purchases we made, such as the Kubota, has been able to streamline a lot of different things that we do, especially clearing the roadways during the weather. They were able to take care of the cemetery roadways quickly, efficiently, safely. And that way people can get in and out of there. So some of the purchases that we've made are already paying off for what we're trying to do. Just quickly, Mr. Rowland and I attended the MCTA Christmas Gala. And we were both sworn in by Matt Heck. So I believe you have copies of both of our paperwork for that. Quickly, the OTA, I've registered for the conference and I've also registered for the public records training, which is required each term. So Mr. Rowland, if that's something you might want to look into, and I could be happy to talk to you about what you need to do for that. But the public records training is required once every 4 years. So, you already had the appeal for the Supreme Court with SRM. So lastly, I'd like to thank Dr. Cross. When he came to us, he brought a ton of knowledge and zoning experience from the years he spent on the BZA and a couple of years that he ended up on the zoning commission. You helped stabilize the board in wake of the water district, which we finally took care of that tonight, which is exciting news for the township.
Timing couldn't be better.
Timing couldn't be better, that the final payment's been made. And again, following the chaotic couple of years we had not too long ago, the Fouts Fund, you went to Dayton, you found the microfilm, you did all the legwork, and you were able to come up with a plan to distribute funds for the benefit of the children in our community, which was above and beyond. You led the way in regulating the grow facilities and the industrial solar and preserving the agricultural heritage of our township. You kept up to date on the happenings at Germantown Council as you updated us again tonight on what they're doing. And you always provided well thought out and research thoughts on all the issues that came across the board. It's been an honor to serve with you. So I have a resolution I'm going to read. Yeah, so thank Dr. Cross. So is it number 50?
I don't know.
I lost count. 58. Okay. I would like to introduce resolution 2025-58, a resolution to recognize and show appreciation to Dr. Mark Cross for his service to the German Township community. Whereas Dr. Cross moved to German Township area in 1986 and began his dental practice, and whereas Dr. Mark Cross has honorably served German Township as a trustee for 8 years, demonstrating unwavering commitment to the community and its residents. And whereas during the past decade, Dr. Cross has embodied thoughtful, steady, and consistent leadership, often guiding the township through challenging times with integrity, calmness, and a strong sense of responsibility. And whereas Dr. Cross's approach to governance has been rooted in careful research, thorough analysis, and dedication to providing the most well-considered, effective, and sustainable solutions to the township. And whereas in his service as trustee, Dr. Cross brought remarkable stability at the moments when it was desperately needed, ensuring continuity, transparency, and trust in township operations. And whereas his research to the nearly 100-year-old Phelps Fund uncovered a meaningful, historically aligned way to use the funds to provide food for the children of German Township, thereby honoring the original intent of the founder and addressing a community need. And whereas prior to his service as trustee, Dr. Mark Cross dedicated nearly 2 decades to the German Township Board of Zoning Appeals and Zoning Commission, contributing his insight, fairness, and sense of civic duty to matters of land use, zoning decisions, and preservation of our township. And whereas his longstanding service on the BZA reflects a deep commitment to conservation, responsible decision-making, and ensuring that the township's future was shaped with care and respect for both residents of German Township's agricultural heritage. And whereas outside the public office, Dr. Cross spent his professional career as a dentist providing exceptional care to the residents of German Township and surrounding communities for 25 years. And whereas through the decades of his service in dental practice, Dr. Cross improved the health, comfort, and quality of life of countless individuals, families, earning the respect and trust of the community. And whereas his commitment to professionalism, compassion, and excellence in his practice mirrors the same qualities he brought to his public service. And whereas his dedication to volunteerism at Hospice of Dayton, the Humane Society of Greater Dayton, and others, as well as his charitable work with local organizations, improved the lives of everyone around him. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the German Township Board of Trustees expresses its heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to Dr. Mark Cross for his many years of service, his exemplary leadership, and his unwavering dedication to improving the community. And be it further resolved that the German Township Board of Trustees acknowledges and celebrates the positive and lasting impact that Dr. Mark Cross has made across the decades of public and professional service. And be it finally resolved, the German Township proudly thanks Dr. Mark Cross for a job well done.
A second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion of the resolution?
I saw a lot of words.
Over it.
Very small font.
Yeah, he shrunk it for us. Just really do appreciate everything you've done. You came in 2 times with a rocky situation, and we were able to work things out and make things how they should be. So greatly appreciate everything you've done.
I appreciate you guys helping out.
Very much.
My pleasure. So,
Very much appreciated.
didn't realize I'd done so much until it listed all out.
This was the abbreviated version.
I could have done 2 pages. Well, when we have our vote, I would recommend, Dr. Cross, that you abstain.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? I will call the roll. Mr. Stubbs.
Yes.
Dr. Cross.
So we'll abstain.
And Mr. Potter.
Yes.
I am very proud to announce that Resolution 2025-58 has been adopted by this board. Congratulations.
I plan to be out there. I just won't be here.
Will definitely be missed.
So will you still go to council and tell us what happened?
That is really up to you.
Better you than me. Okay, thank you for that. And I think that brings us to an executive session at the end.
So I'd like to have introduce a resolution. I'm sorry. Yes, introduce a resolution to go into
The motion.
motion. Thank you. All tied up with Mark's awards. A motion to go into executive session,
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
and it'll be under ORC 121.22 G1 to discuss the compensation of a public employee.
Okay. Do I need to add that? It's under ORC 121-2 or 0.22 G1 to discuss the compensation of a public employee.
Correct.
Second.
All right, Mr. Stubbs,
Yes.
Dr. Cross,
Yes.
Mr. Potter.
Yes.
Okay, we're adjourned in executive session at 8:16. Would you like to?
Mr. Easton, can you do this?
Washington Township. That's why that's solar now.
That's it.
Yeah. 8:26. It's not working.
Oh, it's not working. I'm sorry. Okay, 8:26, but I have a motion to go back into regular session.
I'll make a motion to return to regular session.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're back in regular session at 8:26.
All right, I would like to make a motion that any part-time employee will be paid for their normal hours on Christmas.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
Second? You want to do that?
Second.
Second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I hope not. We adjourned at 8:27.
Smart.